What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. I'm going to continue my record prediction series in today's video. Today I'm doing the NFC South. This is the final NFC division that I haven't given predictions for. Then I'll move on to the AFC. I just been putting off the record prediction series because I haven't known how many games Deshaun Watson was going to be suspended for. The suspension that Watson received was not nearly long enough, but that's beside the point in today's video. The Cleveland Browns with Watson are a whole lot different than the Cleveland Browns without Watson, so I wanted to wait until I predicted any teams that went against the Cleveland Browns because I wasn't sure what kind of team they were going to be facing. Now we know it's an 11-game suspension. Let's move into the NFC South predictions. Starting in 4th place of the NFC South, I do have the Atlanta Falcons, probably one of the worst rosters in the NFL. I have them finishing 5-12. Don't get me wrong, they do have some talented pieces on that roster, and Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Cordero Patterson, AJ Terrell, but it takes a team effort to win, and I don't think the Falcons have a well-rounded enough roster to be relatively decent this season. They're going to be held back by mediocre quarterback play. I don't think their offensive line is going to be great, and I don't see how their pass rush is going to be much better than it was last season. And that was the story of the Falcons defense. They had a pressure percentage last year of 16.7%, which ranked dead last in the NFL. It's a miracle that they even won 7 games last year with the pressure percentage that they had on the season, but this year I don't think that's going to be the case. Their schedule's a little bit tougher. I can see the Falcons being competitive in some games that you wouldn't expect them to be, but at the end of the day, they're going to fall short more often than not. I have them finishing 5-12, 4th in the NFC South. Next up at 3rd place in the NFC South, I do have the Carolina Panthers, who I'm predicting to go 7-10. This was a team I was much higher on going into the season last year. Sam Darnold, who I thought was going to really revive his career with Christian McCaffrey. Robbie Anderson at the time had a lot more hype around him. DJ Moore, of course. And then a very young yet ferocious defense that had J.C. Horn, who they had just drafted in the 2021 NFL draft, as well as Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns. And they started off very well. They started off 3-0, if I remember correctly, and then suddenly things just went down the drain. Christian McCaffrey would end up getting hurt. Sam Darnold would start playing like absolute dog shit. He would end up getting hurt. They would go through a quarterback carousel, and they pretty much sucked for the rest of the year. Now, for this year, the optics on the Carolina Panthers are somewhat similar, except the biggest difference is I don't have nearly as much confidence in Baker Mayfield to bounce back as I did Sam Darnold to bounce back last season. I know that sounds ridiculous now, but I really thought Darnold was going to revive himself. And it's not that I don't think Baker could play at an NFL level physically. I think it's the mental side of the game that's going to tear Baker down and be the ultimate downfall of the Panthers. And although this is just his second starting position in the NFL, I do think this is kind of his last chance to prove that he can still play at a starting level on a consistent basis in this league. And he knows that, and I feel like he didn't have nearly as much pressure in Cleveland than he does now, at least not up until the tail end of the Browns' tenure, right? He goes from the Cleveland Browns offense, which was a lot easier to operate as a quarterback, to the Carolina Panthers, where he's going to have a lot more on his shoulders. I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle it. I do think they fall short to the Browns in week 1 in that revenge clash that Baker has against them. I like Baker, don't get me wrong. I just don't think this ends up being a roses and petunia situation when it's all said and done. But the Carolina Panthers roster itself is just being held back by quarterback play. They have the pieces to be what I think a playoff team in the NFC right now. I do see them pulling off some upsets throughout 2022 for that exact reason, but I don't think they're a playoff team. And with that being said, I have them finishing 7-10, 3rd in the NFC South. Moving up to the 2nd place position in this division, I am predicting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to take that placeholder with a record of 11-6. I really don't think Tampa wins the division this year, and I also don't think they look like the same dominant team we're used to seeing them as since Tom Brady got there. That's why I have them losing games to the Carolina Panthers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they drop easy games as such. And this ties back to a theory that I've had since the beginning of the offseason. I don't think Tom Brady wants to be in Tampa Bay. I don't. And as the offseason has progressed, that theory has only been reinforced. Earlier this offseason, he tried to fake retire and work his way to the Miami Dolphins with Sean Payton. And then when that fell through, he just defaulted to going back to Tampa Bay. But something we just learned recently as well, which was exposed by Dana White, prior to leaving the Patriots, before he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into the 2020 season, he was supposed to team up with Rob Gronkowski and go to the Raiders. And at the last second, for one reason or another, John Gruden decided that that's not what he wanted, and he cut the deal off. So then that's when Tom Brady ended up going from New England to Tampa Bay, when he was supposed to be going from New England to Vegas. Which leads me to believe that he doesn't want to be there whatsoever. It's just the only place he can play at the moment. Thus leading me to now believe that I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to feel the effects of Tom Brady not wanting to be there. It's not really a logical theory. It's just kind of a gut feeling. And although 11-6 is not bad whatsoever, I don't think they win the division. I don't think they look as strong throughout the year. I don't think they win games by such large margins. Who knows? Maybe this is the season that Tom Brady slows down entirely. But yes, I do think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to find some issues, and it's going to root back to this Tom Brady not wanting to be in Tampa Bay theory that I have, and I'm going to go crazy when it comes through, and I have no way to prove it. Anyway, that's my prediction for the Bucs. I have them finishing 11-6, second in the NFC South. And with only one spot remaining in the division and only one team remaining, I think you could put the square piece in the square hole. I have the New Orleans Saints finishing first in the NFC South at 13-4. With my Brady Buccaneer theory forming right before everyone's eyes, someone else has to win the division, and that will be the New Orleans Saints. This is the perfect time for them to swoop in and finally take it back. I've been raving about the Saints all offseason. I think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL and a defense that is more than championship ready. And the quarterback they have under center, in your opinion, might be a question mark, but to me, he's a big fat check mark. That was corny, but anyway, Jameis Winston is in a situation like he's never had before. He's going to have a great offensive line in front of him. He's going to have Alvin Kamara in his backfield, Mark Ingram in his backfield, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. And like I already mentioned, he's got one of the best defenses in the NFL to support him as well. He does not have to play hero ball. All he has to do is not turn the football over, and this team is going to be dangerous. Based off of the small sample size we got from him last year, he looked more than capable to be ready to lead this team to success. Trust me, I get it. The small sample size argument, it makes sense, but for a guy that once threw 30 interceptions in the same season, for him to go 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions at the beginning of 2021 was extremely remarkable in my mind. So all Jameis Winston has to do is take care of the football, and I think this team is going to be really tough to beat. The Saints literally went 9-8 with an offense that consisted of a quarterback carousel of Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, and Ian Book, and a wide receiving corps that consisted of Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, and Deontay Harris. So it really got a lot better for the Saints after getting Winston back. They got Michael Thomas back, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. I mean, it could not get any better. Two other notable additions that I want to touch on include safety Marcus May, who I think is going to help out the back end a whole lot for that defense, as well as offensive tackle Trevor Penning, the rookie that they drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft. I really have all the faith in the world in the New Orleans Saints to take this division home. I have them finishing 13-4, first in the NFC South. So yeah, those are my predictions for the NFC South in the upcoming 2022 NFL season. Let me know any thoughts you have down in the comment section below. I don't have much time between now and the beginning of the season, so I'm really going to have to get on my horse with these prediction videos since I've been putting it off for so long. So expect the AFC to be done relatively quickly. But anyways, if you enjoyed, as always, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I'd appreciate that. You want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there, I'd appreciate that as well. I have a TikTok down in my description that I think you should check out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.